Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Next Level Live. As you know, we are actually gearing up for the Next Level conference, which will be happening on Saturday, 30th of August, where some of the best investing minds will be coming together to share their insights. So today, you're going to get a special preview of two of our featured speakers. Now, first off, we have Iris Yuan, also known as the Stock Sniper. So she's mastered the art of trading stocks in just 1 hour a day, creating both profits and the time freedom so many of us dream about. Now, alongside her, we are also joined with Julian Yong, a forex trader so skilled that he's entrusted with capital to trade on behalf of others. Okay, so this is a true recognition of his expertise and consistency in the markets. So today's session is about getting to know them, hearing their perspective, and also to give you a taste of what's to come at the upcoming Next Level conference. And of course, we also love to hear from you also. So if you have any questions for Iris or Julian, do drop them in the chat and we'll pick up some of these questions to bring into this discussion. So welcome Iris and Julian to the Next Level Live. So,
Hi.
Hello, guys. Good to see all of you guys.
All right, so maybe we can, at the start, maybe we can share a little bit about maybe we let ladies go first, right? Like Iris, what first got you into stock trading?
That's actually a very common question I get to hear. Like always, I will be asked that why among all the other instruments, why is it that you pick stock trading? So the thing is, I didn't pick stock trading. It's kind of after trying out a couple of things, then I realized that everything is kind of connected to a certain degree. Because when I first started out, actually I tried options, I tried forex, I tried CFDs, which is in short abbreviation for the contract for difference. Of course, I tried stocks tradings, and I realized it's not about how many things you try. It's about which one can actually give you the peace of mind and ultimately build your wealth in a very consistent way and save your time. And everything is this is something I like to share with my students, is that like be it options or stocks or crypto, actually you have to use a chart to analyze your entry anyway. So it's using the same thing, but you're just looking at the different instruments, different vehicles. And I noticed after I trying out that, then I realized actually ultimately it's not about mastering everything, but it's about truly have their chart reading skills, then find the instruments that can save me the time, and then I just build my wealth compound accordingly. And then that is where I kind of among trying many other things, I kind of just focus on stock tradings alone, because that is something that I find that I feel very complacent. So it's not about I chose stock trading, but kind of is that it's enough for me already. Yeah.
Wow. That's really good. So it's all about peace of mind, and it's about like what you say, there's so many different markets, but choose something that you really like, right? And that's why you chose stock trading. Okay, awesome. What about you, Julian? Like why forex?
Yeah, I think good question. Similar to what Iris mentioned, I think Iris brought up a good point. Finding what you really like. But the thing is that, I mean, yeah, of course, I've also tried a lot of these. One thing that attracted me to want to, do forex, is number one is actually more flexible in terms of timing. All right, I mean, if you were to trade in, let's just say, the US stock market, usually you only be able to do it at night, right? And for me, I like my nights to be free because I like to be able to spend time with my family, and just relax at night, right? So that's the reason why I go with forex, because you're able to trade 23 hours a day, 5 times a week. So I have the choice if I want to do it in the morning, if I want to do it in the afternoon, whichever pockets of time that I'm available, I would just be able to trade. So it's more of flexibility of time for me. Yeah.
Awesome. So, okay, I think that's what's on everybody's mind, because like you mentioned, right? Forex is open 24 hours a day. So, like for you personally, right? How often do you spend a day on trading?
For me personally, again, there are different pockets of time that would be best for trading forex. I would say usually when the market opens, these are the times that would be the volatility will be faster and the movement is of the charts will be faster. So that times will usually be either the Asian session between 8 to 10 a.m. If you want to trade the London session, that would be between 3 to 5 p.m. If you want to trade the US session, then that would be between 8 p.m. to about 10 p.m. So I prefer to trade the Euro session, or the London session, because that is the time that I'm more available. So 3 to 5 p.m. then I'm just done for the day.
Wow, okay, that's awesome. 3 to 5 p.m. So maybe for Iris, maybe you can share with us because like what Julian mentions, right? Because for forex is flexible, and he trades at a specific timing. Like, what about yourself? Do you trade at a specific timing also?
I used to. I still do because I'm kind of trading with my students 3 days every week, right? So, but most of my trading, I really like what Julian mentioned that U.S. market opens at, like, for now, 9:30 Singapore time, and especially when you are working, it's very tough for you to still continue trading like at that kind of time, and so. But of course, sometimes when you want to have some additional daily income, especially when your account size is small, then we have to put in some additional work. So that's why in the past, I used to kind of allocate about 1 hour a day for day trading so that I can have pretty much some additional daily income here and there every day, which is good, right? That is how I kind of exit my job, kind of voluntarily retire myself. But these days, my portfolio has grown bigger. And of course, my aspiration has become higher as well. So rather than like trading just like 1 hour a day, I don't do that. Actually, I don't have to do that anymore. But to trade with my students, I still do that, but not 1 hour a day anymore. It's like every day I'm there like 9:30, then 9:45, I'm gone already. But we see opportunities, we profit from there. So that is the power of day trading. We're in and out within the day. But my focus right now is something different. Like just now, Julian mentioned a couple of timings when it comes to forex. Like there are some better time allocations. So for the other like trading strategies, which I call NLT trades, it's literally you trade whenever you want. Like for example, weekend I happen to have some pocket time, and then I will see some opportunities. Then I'll just place my orders. I don't even have to wait for market opens. Or let's say today later, like after lunch, I can also take a look at the chart. If I see opportunities, then I can also just place the orders. So that is what I call it like a freedom kind of time freedom kind of trading. So that is also one of the reasons why I'm so complacent about stock trading. Because it's not like how most people think that you have to be attached to the screen, have to be there when market opens. In fact, you can have all the time flexibility. But of course, you have to put in the efforts to kind of first master up the skills first.
Awesome. Okay, so just curious, if let's say someone were to meet you guys for the very first time, right? What's one thing they should know about your style of trading? Maybe Iris can answer first, then after that we will move on to Julian.
My style of trading, my mentees like to say Iris style super relaxed. Yeah, so it's relaxed. If you think trading requires multiple monitors, then I have to let you know that I only have one monitor. If you think trading requires long hours of staring at the screen, then I can tell you that I don't even spend 1 hour a day. Probably in a month, if I say I minus all the 15 minute every day when I do day trade with my students, then probably about another 1 to 2 hours a month. So that is the time I spend in trading. So I don't know whether that comes as a good news or bad news to you, but for me, I love it because to me, the most important thing is the time. Trading is just a tool for me to build the wealth. But ultimately, what I want is the time to focus on things that I truly feel passionate about. Of course, I feel passionate about trading, but as you have achieved certain things, then you will aim something even higher. Yeah, so that's just something I want to share. So trading is, in summary, is something that's actually pretty relaxed. You don't even have to be around when the market opens, but you need to plan it properly. Like you need to form a proper action plan so that the plan will work out for you. So you don't have to worry about it, and then you don't have to spend long hours to do so. And it is something to actually buy you the time.
Awesome. Okay, so I like that you have a proper action plan, right? So ladies and gentlemen, if let's say you also want to be like Iris and you want to have that flexibility of time, not to spend so much time in front of a computer and have more freedom, type R for relax, because Iris style is relaxed style of trading. What about you, Julian?
Okay, good question. I think similar to Iris, personally, I also prefer the more relaxed style. However, again, I always see that there are two different kinds of audience. I mean, some people prefer the more fast pace, fast in, fast out. Some prefer the more relaxed style. So for me, I have actually come up with strategies that cater to both, right? Again, if you prefer the one, if you are able to, pay a little bit more attention on the charts, be a little bit more active, then you can go for the scalping method. I call that a scalping. But if you prefer a more set and forget method, I have also come up with strategies that allow you to do that as well. And this gives you the choice to choose, right? Personally, again, I prefer the more set and forget approach. However, because, some of my students also are, working or whatever, right? So sometimes they trade in pockets of time that they are available. So I will have to still do both, all right, for them. But again, this gives you the flexibility of choice on what style you prefer. So you just adapt accordingly.
Awesome. Okay, so you mentioned about set and forget. Now, for our friends who are hearing this for the very first time and they are unfamiliar with terms of like stock trading and forex, what do you mean by set and forget?
Set and forget. I believe Iris also does have some strategies that she mentioned just now, right? The NLT. But basically, set and forget to me is you already can spot the setup in advance. You just place your your limit orders, right? Which means that you kind of pre-plan where you want to enter, and then you actually set your stop loss and you set your TP or take profit, and you just let the trade do its thing. So you don't have to monitor it. You just either hit your TP or hit your stop loss. That's it.
Okay, got it. So TP is take profit, right?
Yeah,
TP.
take profit.
So for Iris, just now, Julian mentioned NLT and you also mentioned NLT. Like for people who are hearing this and they have never heard of this term before, what exactly is NLT? What's the concept behind NLT?
Oh, NLT is just a name. So it's basically a type of swing trades. So when it comes to trading, if let's say you open and close the trade within the day, then it's intraday. So that's why we call it day trade, because it's everything done within the day. So if let's say anything that can last for more than a day, let's say a couple of days, sometimes a couple of weeks, then this fall under the strategy type of swing trade. Yeah. So NLT is a type of a swing trade, but why I call it NLT, which actually stands for Northern Light Trade. Northern Light Trade. My students say, hey, why is it called NLT? Actually, because the name reminds me about why I name it after. So it's actually when I went to see the Northern Light, then I don't want to do day trade because I was at a cabin and then the Wi-Fi signal is not strong. And also you see the outside is so beautiful, then you don't want to, do the trade anymore. So that is where I kind of say, hey, actually this strategy has a nice name, which is exactly the kind of strategy that is perfect for when you are seeing a Northern Light. So that's why I call it NLT trades. Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that Northern Light trades and the set and forget method is more like for long term where you don't want to pay too much attention. You see
no. I really when Julian mentioned about the set and forget, I just want to add on a little bit more here because as you are trading for some time, you will notice that strategy plays one part, but emotion plays an even bigger part. So there is one set and forget is actually not a strategy. It's just a way how you manage a trade, which I call it a trading plan. In fact, this is what I will encourage my students to do because when you are new, you might not be applying the strategies correctly. Like sometimes you might make some mistakes. And then when you see the price go up from green to red, your heart also pump faster or like slower based on the chart reaction. So you might do certain things not because of the technical information, the story that is given to you by the chart, but rather is based on your fear or the greed. Yeah, so that's why there is one type of a trading plan which is called I call it all or nothing, or Julian says set and forget. So basically, it's the same thing. That means you plan everything before you take a trade. All the effort is done before you make a decision. You analyze, make sure you take a high quality trade. You know exactly where you will enter a trade. You know exactly where you will get away if, let's say, things doesn't go in the direction that you want, because not all trade will work exactly the way you want. You need to know how to protect yourself and where to protect yourself. And also you need to know, what is the easy target. I always tell them that we always take easy trade. So what is the definition of an easy trade? And the definition of an easy trade is where the target can easily be hit. So that one, of course, takes some skill to know, but that is why we say effort was put in before we make the decision to take the trade. So once you have the three ingredients, entry, stop loss, and then the target, you set all three things all together in a form of what we call a bracket order. Then once you are in the trade, you can forget already. You can walk away. Then of course, for day trade, and then before you go to bed, you come back. You see at which one hit the target, which one hit the stop loss. It's like buying the lottery ticket, but you come with a much higher winning probability. So no, anything that's in between, you close all the trades. That is how relaxed trading can be. So in between, when the price is moving, you don't even need to bother about it. You just go and watch Netflix, relax, but don't look at the screen. You have all the time, but effort is spent when you take the trade. So this one actually is very good for newbies because you can protect yourself from making all that emotional kind of wrong decisions in a way that you will have much better results.
Awesome. Wow. That's really, really good, Sherry. I think it's pretty insightful, that, it's always important to go in with a plan, right? So it doesn't affect your emotions. Okay, but talking about emotional trading, or, especially when we look at the chart, and especially people who are new, and of course, if things don't go their way, one of the biggest problems is like, they tend to hold and hold and hold. So I'm just curious about both of you. Like, have you ever made a bad trade because of emotion in the past? And then maybe what advice you can give to newbies? Maybe Julian can answer this question.
Okay. Have I done it in the past? For sure. When you are learning, when you are, again, getting to understand how this game is working. Of course, yes, right? Emotions did play a part. I've held trades that, blow my account entirely as well, right? We call it margin call. So I think this is something that is common. I believe those of you who are watching may have experienced this before. But I think when it comes to being more careful or being more disciplined as you grow as or progress as a trader, right? It's about again, like what Iris mentioned, having the trade plan to set your stop loss, to be able to know exactly where do you cut or do you stop the trade if it goes against you, right? I think that's the discipline that you need to have in order for you to progress. Because coming from someone who's also doing prop firm, which means that I'm handling other people's capital as well, right? It actually is even more crucial that you risk manage even better, right? Because you are not having your own money. Of course, if you're trading your personal account, if your own account goes down by 50%, no one cares but you, because it's your own money, right? But if you trade other people's capital, then you need to be extra careful. You make sure you cannot go past the set limit, right? Because it shows that you're not a very disciplined trader. So I think this takes time to progress. And what I can recommend or what I can suggest to beginners who are starting out is just stick to your plan. All right. If you already set your stop loss, you set your take profit, don't go and shift it. Just let it run and take its course. If it hits stop loss, which is going to be very normal, right? And I believe Iris also can attest to this, right? Is that hitting stop loss is something that almost every trader have to go through one. If you never go through that, you will not understand what is it like to trade, right? Because imagine all your trades all win, cannot be, right? So you have to experience a stop loss. That's where you start to learn to be more careful, right? But when you stick to your plan, you just let it run, then you will know. If you make a mistake, you will learn from it. If you actually if you hit your stop loss, you learn from it. If you hit your take profit, you also get to learn, right? What do you do well. Yeah. So tracking your trades is also one important that I always emphasize on.
Awesome. So what about you, Iris? Like, how do you protect yourself against like emotional trading? Adding on to what Julian has just said earlier about stop loss.
Okay. When Julian was mentioning about he blow up his account, wow, memory just flashed back to my mind because I did the same thing. Yeah, but if you haven't experienced that, I hope you will never experience that, because it's something that you don't want to experience at all. So back to your question, how can we better control our emotion and then trade properly? I was thinking like how I can give good tips to especially those who are like new traders. There is the seventh wonder, which is the power of compounding. That if you look at the growth itself, is not exciting. Like maybe say 1% a day or 2% a day, it doesn't feel exciting. But if you accumulate and let it compound, it's like a snowball. Like maybe first year, second year, the ball is like from here to here, not too big. Wow, but third year onwards, you will see the power of that kind of compounding. It will become bigger and bigger. So why am I saying that? It's because when people trade, regardless of the instruments, before they put down their money, all they can think about is, wow, that is the kind of potential money I can make. All they think about is the so-called the profit that they would have missed if, let's say, they didn't take the action. But that's why a lot of people, they chase the trades. That's why you see that if you look at any chart, you will see one green bar will be followed by another green bar, like go up very fast. Then suddenly price will kind of crash down. It's because there are people chasing that kind of a price action. By the time they enter, then they realize they are the last group that entered the party. And then the moment they enter, the party ends, and then they kind of be stuck there for a while. And then some of them, they will cut loss at a huge loss. So to prevent that, you have to first know, when it comes to trading, that for example, for myself, I wouldn't expect that one day my portfolio will be doubled by 2 times, like 100% growth or 200% growth in one day. I wouldn't expect that, because if I can do that in one day, that means one day I will give back. It's not a profit that I can hold, because it's not a proper risk management. But even if I can just grow my portfolio, let's say by 1% a day, if you just do a simple math, that is 300% a year. And that is how you can do it consistently. So going back to that is, whenever you take a trade, to keep your emotion under control, you have to make sure that you are okay to stomach the scenario whereby if you take this trade and this trade doesn't go in that direction that you want, that means it's a losing trade. In fact, I actually lose trades to make money. I have losing trades. I have a lot of losing trades, but I make money. What matters is not about avoiding losing trades. What matters is about whether you make money or not. And I lose trades to make money. So to summarize is to make sure that every trade that you take is not a trade that will give you a heart attack. And then you can sleep, at peace at night. And then you let the compounding do the magic for you. So you wouldn't, like, say, one day wake up, wow, your portfolio double. You wouldn't happen like that. I mean, my strategy won't give you that kind of results, but you will see that after 1 year, wow, your account double. And you know that actually you can do it consistently, like a snowball. That is, how you're supposed to trade.
Got it. Well, you mentioned something really interesting, losing money to make money. Wow. Now, I understand that when it comes to whether is it stock trading, forex trading, like for newbies, we always want to follow the trainer or guru that has a very high winning rate. But then I think, like just now when we are talking about emotional trading and when it comes to stop loss, right? And then sometimes, when people maybe what they tend to forget is that when we talk about high win rate, there's also losing rate. And then when the moment people hit their stop loss, they stop trading. So like Julian, like if let's say for a newbie, like what would you advise, especially like for example a student, a newbie who just started trading, and then the trade they thought it was good, but then they hit their stop loss. What should they do?
Okay, so I think first thing first is, if you are a newbie, right, I think what's more important is you start to seek knowledge first, right? You start to learn the strategy that you're doing and you try to back test it. So I think this is something that a lot of people, they jump the gun, is that they straight away like want to test out something. They straight away use their real money and then they go and try to go in, right? But if they don't test whether actually what they're doing is working or not, then how do they know of its effectiveness? How do they get the confidence into applying the trade, right? So what we want to try to do is that you want to try to test as much as possible first. Feel free to use demo account whatsoever, right? But just go and back test. You can even just do it on the charts, right? Just kind of see whether does that strategy actually work, right? And how usually after you've done the testing, like what is the percentage of the win, right? The win rate, and how far does it normally go to and stuff like that, right? So does it like give you a 1-to-1, 1-to-2, 1-to-3 kind of risk to reward? So when you're able to do that testing, then you get the confidence, right? And then when you're able to have that confidence to apply the trade, even let's just say when you already tested it, you know that this strategy gives you about I would say 70% win rate, 60%, whatever the win rate is, right? You know that even if you hit stop loss, right, on the actual trade, it's just a numbers game, because the more you do, right, maybe the first 2-3 trades are losses, but the rest will be winners because you already done the testing, you've already gained that confidence in that sense. Does it make sense what I'm saying?
Okay, so it's always about testing. Okay, so maybe we pick out some questions and then see maybe how we can explain further about testing. So like Charlene, okay, so I'm picking out some questions in the crowd. Now guys, I know you guys have questions, but please ask questions relating to either stock trading or forex. Right? Okay, so Shirlene is asking, okay, how to start with 10K, which is basically the theme of today's session. Is if let's say today I have 10K, what should I do? You know, what's the first thing you would do before putting it into the market? So maybe Julian, you can share with us like that and testing. Like, how would you use this 10K?
Yeah. Okay. So I think going back to what I mentioned just now, before you even start to put in the money to actually trade, personally for me, what I would suggest is you go and learn first. Okay, learn the strategy, backtest it, and then only risk your real money. And what I would also recommend personally is that instead of, because okay, the beauty of forex is that you are able to trade with a smaller capital. You don't have to put in 10K in order to start making money. You can even do it with as little as $500, $1,000, or even lesser as well, right? That is the beauty of doing forex. So if I had 10K, what I will do is that I will actually split it. Maybe I put in $1,000 each. Then I will have 10 bullets instead of one. Right? A lot of people try to go into the battlefield. They just want to do a headshot with the one bullet. Cannot be, right? So if you are learning, what I'll do is I will split it into 10 sections of $1,000, and then try to grow that amount first. So this is when you are starting out. Once you're already familiar with yourself, you are able to achieve that consistency, then you will be more flexible, or you will be more confident to handle a bigger sum of money.
Awesome, great. So it's all about testing small by splitting up your budget to diversify your risk, right?
Yeah.
So
for beginners especially.
For beginners. Okay, awesome. Very good advice. What about you, Iris? Like, how would you suggest someone to use 10K when it comes to stock trading?
Okay. What I say, just please don't take it as I am sounding too harsh, but I just want to take it as the advice I will give to the younger version of Iris. If let's say I was to advise myself, if I have 10K and I have no knowledge in trading, I would say don't trade. I would say put it in the bank first, or put it in the FD first, but go and learn properly. Yeah. So that once you have learned how to trade properly, then I would say, so what I said might be slightly different from what Julian said, like test with the simulation account, because I don't believe in trying with a paper trading account. Now, of course, if let's say you want to figure out where to click, how do I look the charts? Of course, try with the paper account, because that one is something that can be done. But let's say if you want to apply the proven strategies, you will never get the results, the true results, when you try with paper account, because one important thing is missing, and that important thing is emotion. So you have to try with real account. But then again, there's a question. If I try with real account, if I make mistakes, then how? Then that goes back to the thing of risk controlling. So you can, if let's say one trade, if it's a losing trade, you only lose, let's say $5. Is it okay for you to try? And you make money, let's say you make $10. Now, yes, it's not amazing, but that is something that can give you a peace of mind and let you to try consistently. That is what matters. So try, if let's say you want to try the strategy, but provided it's really a proven strategy, you have to do it with the real account, with your real money, because that is where you get to understand better about yourself as a trader. Now, this is something I share with my students, that as we are trading, it's also a journey of discovering more about yourself, your trader's character. You might appear to be a very patient person in life, but you will be surprised that when it comes to trading, you might be very impatient. That you might walk away from the trade too early, only to see the price shoot up high. Yeah, so that is something, is a journey for self-discovery. And whether you are a patient trader or impatient trader, you can be successful. You just need to understand what kind of a character you are, and then you come up with a plan that fit into your character. So that's why you have to try with the real account to know how you will feel. But you lower the risk every trade. So let's say one trade you can lower, US stocks, you can buy one share, right? And then with that, just like I mentioned, right, the three important criteria, the entry, stop loss, and target, you can actually control your risk per trade as small as $5, so that you can afford to try. Even if you have a $500 account, you can afford to try 100 times. I'm sure with that, with the proven strategy, you will see the results, but you have to try with a real account. Yeah, so that is, what I would tell myself if, let's say, I were to travel, do the time travel back in time, and I will ask myself to do this. Yeah.
Awesome. Which I think, is like very similar advice to what Julian has mentioned. Like if you have some money, don't go and one shot go all in, but to really split up and really test with a very, very small budget. So Rajan was asking, right? Okay, do you personally focus on US stocks or Singapore stocks, or like what stocks do you trade?
Me?
And why?
You're asking?
Yeah, Iris.
You.
For me, I only trade US stocks because like I don't. And then people will ask, hey, why is it that you trade US stocks? Can I trade like Hong Kong? Can I trade China? Can I trade, for example, Singapore stock market? Then my answer is always like that. The goal is not to say, hey, trade all the market. The goal is to see where is the most liquid one. Because I am not trading the stock because it's Tesla, because it's Apple. I'm trading the stock because the story that is given by the chart is telling me there is an opportunity. That's why I trade. So I will see a lot of opportunities because I don't just look for opportunities among all those so-called popular stocks, right? But I mean, US is the most liquid one. So I will trade the US market. But again, US market, right? For me, I'm staying in Singapore. So when it opens, it's at night. And I also want to, like Julia, I want to have my evening time. So that's why I shift my focus from day trade to the NLD trades because I realized actually evening time also very good, very, very good, very important. But of course, I still do day trade like 3 times a week because having daily income is also very good. So it's about you weigh the balance, see what you want. Yeah, but in short, I trade the US market. And not for any other reasons because it's the most liquid one. This is where I can find the most quality opportunities. But can you trade, let's say, in Hong Kong? Can I trade in Singapore? Of course you can do that because everything boils down to the one thing, which is the chart. As long as it has the chart, you can trade. Yeah.
Awesome. So talking about chart, like how important is chart reading, like especially when it comes to forex, like for Iris, right? Okay, because I understand like when stock market there's so many things to look at, but you mentioned charts. Okay, so let's go a bit in that one. So, but for Iris, for your method, do you look at the fundamentals, like the company?
No. Yeah. I mean, I give you a very simple reason. Then you will see why I don't look at the fundamentals. Let's say we take day trade as an example. I in and like I said, right, day trade is a strategy whereby you will be in and out from the trade within the day. And usually I would say most of the time I will be in that trade for about 5 minutes to 10 minutes, sometimes slightly longer, maybe half an hour. So the question is, do I need to even understand about the fundamentals when I'm only in that trade for that short duration of time? So that's why I don't limit myself to fundamentals. I focus on that one day, the story that is told by the chart. And I'm in and out very fast. And it's because of that I'm actually open to many, many more opportunities because not all counters that has a good opportunity for today as a day trade has a strong fundamental. But the thing is that it's not important. What matters more is that right now, will the price go higher or lower? If you have a strong conviction to from all the analysis that actually you can go higher, just take the trade and be in the trade for maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and there you go. You have extra. For me, it's like extra few $1,000s. I think that is pretty good. Yeah. So in short, I don't look at the fundamentals. Yeah.
Wow, awesome. So guys, if you guys want to make few $1,000s in just like few minutes of work, just put DT in the chat. DT stands for day trade. So NN mentions this thing called learn the skills, then use prop firm. So this question I believe will be directed to Julian right now, especially now because your title says you're Julian Young prop firm trader. Now, for people who do not know what prop firm trading is, maybe you can explain to your audience.
Yeah. Okay. So prop firm basically is I would say a firm or company that provides traders access to capital. But in order for you to want to take, to be able to use the capital, you have to prove yourself that you are a good trader first, right? If you are not able to be profitable, then you don't have the right to use other people who want to give you money to trade, right? So usually what will happen is that you will need to go through some tests first, I would say, right? Like sometimes some of it is one step, some of it is a 2-step test, right? Whereby when you pass it, it shows them that you are profitable. Then what will happen is that you will have access to capital to trade, and you will be able to take a split of the profit. So how does it help you is that number one, if you got no money, right? Imagine you suddenly have now 100K capital to trade. right? And if you lose that 100K, that's not your money, right? So that's the best thing, right? So when you trade the 100K, for example, if you make 10K profit, right? You are able to get a split. So depending on which company you're using, some of the companies is like 80-20. So you trade a 100K account, you make 10K profit, you'll be able to take 8K and put inside your pocket, right? 2K is for the company now. So this is what we call as prop firm trading. Again, it's best for those people who have already some knowledge of trading. If you don't have, go and learn how to do it, try to be profitable, and then once you're ready, go and take the test, right, to be able to do this so that you can leverage on getting more capital without risking more of your own.
Wow, awesome, man. That's really awesome. Trade with other people's money and you keep 80% of profits. Wow, that's awesome, man. Guys, if you guys like this to trade with other people's money and keep 80% of profit, can you all type, okay, type PF for prop firm, okay? So because this is something that we can also learn from Julian later on also. So now, because, I'm just curious, like when you trade for prop firm, right, like how big is the portfolio that you're trading?
I mean, if you pass the test, usually, I mean, depends on whichever account that you take, right? Personally, for me, I'm doing like a 400K account. So basically, I have 4 different 100K accounts that I'm running. Yeah, but
4 different 100K account you're running.
Yeah, correct.
Wow, that's awesome, man. So how would you trade differently, like as compared to someone who had 10K? Like when you trade with 400K, like do your style of trading actually change from a smaller portfolio to a bigger portfolio?
Okay, so I would say yes, there's a slight mindset shift. Depends on how much you are willing to risk. For example, if it is me, if I'm trading with a 100K account or even a $1 million account, my priority will actually be capital preservation, right? I want to make sure that I'm actually protecting the account while still compounding steadily, just like what Iris mentioned as well, right? So I would be focused a lot more on, managing that risk instead of, being able to use, instead of trading with a small account whereby I can afford to lose that 10K if I wanted to, in a sense. Yeah. So this is a discipline that you need to have. If you want to trade with other people's money, then you need to focus on protecting the capital. Because when you protect your downside, then the upside will take care of itself.
Awesome, I love it. Okay, so it's all about capital preservation, right? Then for Iris, just now I remember you mentioned, right, for smaller capital, right, like 10K or what, you will do more day trading. But I understand that also as your capital gets bigger, you spend less time trading. So maybe you can share with us, like, how would you trade differently with 10K versus 100K or even 1 million portfolio?
Okay. When your account size is smaller, let's say a few $1,000s, or let's say a lot of you type 10K, right? We just take 10K as an example. All right. So the first thing you have to make sure is that the 10K is not a money that let's say 3 months down the road, you need to use this money. So it must be really your spare cash. And why it is important is because if you know that it's your spare cash, that emotion will keep quiet. So that is the first thing. Now, second thing is to know what is the power of this 10K. The power of this 10K with proper risk management, what it can do for you is it can help you generate a couple of $100 every day daily income, which is very good. So knowing that, then you have to stick to that principle. Proper risk management, then only take trades when it is a high quality trade signal. So like Julian mentioned, you have to put in your effort, like before you take the trade. You analyze properly where you will set your entry, stop loss, and target. And knowing that if everything works, then every day you can do is you will have a few $100 additional income with 10K. So that is the power of it. But of course, as your account grows bigger, because when you do so, it's like a snowball. The 10K will become 20K, 30K by the end of the year. Then it will become 60K. Then you will cross the 6-figure 100K, 200K, 300K. Then that is where you will start to realize that what you want is not just the money. Money is just a tool. What you want is actually the time freedom. And you will start to think about, actually evening is very good. I want to have my evening time. Or weekend is good. Or I don't even want to trade. When the market opens, can I still have that kind of an income? So this is where you will slowly shift your focus from day trade to NLT trade. But the way how I trade is exactly the same. It's exactly the same. Just that when I take a trade, I don't have to wait until market open. I can, like for example, analyze the chart now. If I see an opportunity, I can immediately place the orders with that 3 important criteria, which means where to enter, the entry, stop loss, and target. and I just let it be there. And then I don't have to be around when the market opens. But the difference is because now my portfolio is bigger. So for the same risk management, the profit that one trade can make me is no longer a few $100. In fact, it's over 5-figure. So that's why it's because suddenly you have higher income, but you spend lesser time. So for those of you who have a smaller account, actually have the patience. Just focus on mastering the skill first, grow it steadily. The important thing is the consistency. So is the thing is that if you can use a $10,000 account and then make 20,000 in one day, there is nothing amazing about it. What makes it amazing is, can you keep that 20,000 with that kind of way of trading? The answer is no. So don't be caught up by those kind of fancy like headlines. Wow, I turned 10,000 into 20,000 in 10 minutes. The question is, so what happened after that? How long can you keep the 10,000? How long can you keep the 20,000? So you have to really make sure that you grow your account consistently, knowing that actually if you do so, you will come to a point whereby you spend little time, you will have a very decent income on a regular basis. So I said too much and I forgot what your question is.
No. I think you raised up a very important point, right? Like you mentioned that, hey, if let's say you use $10,000 and then you can make $20,000. Now, for a newbie hearing this for the very first time, they'll be like, wow, hey, this is actually a good thing. But they don't realize that how much risk that they are actually taking. Am I right? So maybe we can expand a little bit on that further, Iris. Like, why is it bad that if today I trade, I got 10,000, then I flip my account to 20,000? Why actually is it a bad thing? And why I need to be careful?
Because if you can flip that 10,000 into 20,000, that means you need to see something that can grow up by 100% within today. Let's say within that 1 hour, the 2 hours, or before the market ends today. And then you have to like put in a lot more into that as a capital. So this firstly is that for things to go up 100% within a day, yes, it happens. Like for example, we look at penny stock, it's quite common. But for them to crash more than that is also very common. So and then for you to put in that kind of a huge capital into the trade, hoping that you one day, like within the day, you will be double, is equally by saying that the next day, if you were to do the same, it will crash to zero. So that's why it is not the kind of a so-called way to trade that has the kind of sustainability that we want. You cannot sustain.
Basically, it's gambling.
Gambling, yes, it's like, yes, spot on. So it's like you go to a casino and say, hey, all in. And then, yes, there is a chance that you'll get more, but there's also an even higher chance you will all in and then, zero back. So that's why it's not going to work. But I take a trade. I know that if it doesn't work, I feel nothing. I mean, you will still feel like being, bite by the end. You still feel something, but you will not be so strong. But you know that actually I just need to keep on trading because I lose trades to make money. Losing trade is part of the game. Yeah, I just keep on taking trades. And then at the end of the day, when I look at the portfolio, let's say 1 year, 1 month later, 2 months later, I know that I wouldn't even be bothered about the losing trades. All I will focus on is actually this month very profitable. This month very profitable. Or this year very profitable. You focus on the correct thing. And every trade you take, you manage the risk. In fact, for every trade I take, right, the worst case scenario for my account is it will only dip by 1% only. So it wouldn't damage my account. But when I make money, it's a decent income. So this is something that a lot of people don't see. They all caught by the fancy thing that, I double my account within the day. But actually, you have to ask them, so that money, how long can you keep? If you cannot keep, what's the point of saying that?
Got it. So if you take unnecessary risk, you can make a lot of money, but you can also lose all at once, right? So like, just curious, just want to ask Julian also, like for forex, do you have like students also facing this, like they get overconfident, then after that they see the money go up like a lot, and then they were like, wow, so proud, I make a lot of money. Like, what do you say to that also?
Is that to me?
Yeah, it's to you.
What do I say about students taking unnecessary risks? Is it?
Yeah, like there might be like what Iris mentioned, right? Like if let's say like overnight, if you have a small account, then you easily just double up, which I think forex is quite volatile, right? And sometimes does that happen in forex?
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's what I used to do also, right? I would flip accounts like every day. But again, when it comes to sustainability, it's not sustainable, and it's also inculcating bad habits in you, lah. So that's why you know, a lot of people always, when they're starting out, they do this, right? But as you progress, as you mature as a trader, then you will realize that actually you keeping your money is more important. All right, I see, like preserving your capital more important. So then you start to be a little bit more careful, because that, of course, you can make money, but you can also lose the money very, very easily, as what Iris mentioned just now. So it's like gambling. So why not just focus on building the right habits, right? Being more disciplined, right? Managing your risk, and you know, so that it's sustainable in the long run. That's the main thing that we are here to make money for a long time, not here make money short time and then lose the money. Because a lot of people, they win the lottery and then after that, within next few months, they are all money gone already. So if you're not ready to, you know, take that amount of money, your mindset is not ready to handle it, then you will still easily lose it, you know, within the next day or so, right? So don't do that.
Awesome. So like for you personally, right? Like, do you set like a target? Like, let's say we talk about cutting loss and all that. Like, what is your risk size that you would recommend someone?
So actually, it's similar to Iris. It's also 1%. So my risk is always 1%. But of course, if you are talking about the reward, then you try to aim for maybe 1:1 minimum, but 1:2, 1:3. Right? This is a very decent, or I would say sustainable size or target to actually aim for. Yeah.
Awesome. What about you, Iris? Like, what is your risk to like reward ratio whenever you choose a setup?
For me, my preferred one is 2. 1:2. That means if I put down $1, I make sure that I can easily get $2. Yeah.
Awesome,
so that's
awesome.
what I do.
Okay, great. Okay, so another question is that now let's talk about how we can effectively use 10K, right? Now let's assume if, let's say today, somebody who is more risk averse, okay, I got 10K, but I scared to lose this money, like how, and I want to trade very conservatively, like how would you advise me to trade, Iris?
Okay, so the first thing is that what I shared earlier. You need to know how to trade first. Don't use that 10K and then go and play with the market, because the market will always humble us. So it's very important for us to come, with a proper system to trade. So if you don't already have, and then you might want to, allocate a portion of the 10K to learn. So that is very important. Else, the 10K, I can tell you from my own experience, it will be given away eventually to the market, which you learn nothing. So that is the very important thing. Then second thing is to manage risk properly. Don't expect that like within 1 day to 2 days you will grow that 10,000 into 20,000, because if you can do so, then you can also easily give back that money. And usually when people give back the money, is more than what they have gained, and that is a very painful lesson. So do it the proper way. Manage every risk of every trade. Remind yourself you are just building a snowball, and the ball can start as small as, let's say, few $1,000s or $10,000, but as long as you trade the correct way, you will kind of roll and roll and roll and get bigger and bigger and bigger, and the compounding will do the wonder for you. So this is what I will kind of share with them.
Awesome. Thank you, Iris. So what about you, like Julian? Like, do you have like aggressive form of trading or a conservative side? Because I think that's not you mentioned, right? Like you have like different styles of trading, like for people who want to trade more or something like that. That's what you mentioned. Yeah.
No, I say the two different style depends on how active you want to be on the markets. If you are able to monitor a little bit more, then you go for the more scalping approach. But if you are a little bit you don't want to monitor so much, then the set and forget approach, which is the day trading method that I mentioned. But now if your question is talking about how can you if you are a little bit more aggressive versus a little bit more risk averse, like careful with your capital, what should you do? Now, for me, again, I always talk about being having capital preservation. You want to protect your money, right? So if you are a little bit more careful with your money, or a little bit more conservative, I would say that one thing that I can share with you is that you want to keep your position size a little bit smaller, right? And then you also want to just focus on A+ setups, right? Which means that these are trades that have multiple confluences lining up, and when you enter the trade, you are confident that it's going to go in your favor, right? So that's what you want to do. You don't want to take higher risk trades, right? So for me, if a trade doesn't meet my standard, I don't want to touch it, right? Because if I want to enter it, I want to make sure that I put money into my pocket, right? But is there a case whereby I also sometimes want to enter a more riskier trade? If there is times, so in that case, I will actually reduce my risk. Instead of risking 1%, maybe I drop it down to 0.5%, 0.25% even, right? So I lower down so that even if I lose, then the amount is much smaller, right? So in that way, you are safer when it comes to your risk.
Okay, got it.
Can I just add on to
Sure.
what Julian has shared? Because
Yes,
just
please do.
suddenly remind me about a very interesting. So recently, I actually had a meetup with one of my, a couple of my mentees, and then there was one guy. He is very successful in doing trading and day trading in particular. And the reason why he focused so much in day trading is because his account size is small, and then he wants to look for more opportunities and generate higher income. And then he has been trading since with me since November last year. And then during the sharing session, he was saying something which is very interesting. He said that when he first started trading, every day he see a lot of opportunity, and every opportunity he wants to jump in because he doesn't want to miss out the profit. But these days, he look at the charts. He in his exact words, he's like, waste of my time, waste of my time. So he's like, he can see through that story that was told by the chart that this one not worth investing. Exactly like what Julian mentioned, the A kind of
A plus setup, I mentioned.
A plus setup. So to him, it's not the A plus setup. He was like, waste of my time. Next one, waste of my time. So in a day, he will only select those high quality trades. And then he has been making a couple of $1,000s on a day. I mean, once every few other days. So on average, he's making about over 5 figure. About I think he mentioned about 12,000 USD every day, every month, just by focusing on their high quality trades. So the thing is that when you don't have the experience, you look at the charts, you see price goes up, you will feel that you have missed out something. But the thing is, actually, there is a high chance there's nothing there. So the difference between experienced traders and those newbies is that newbies see everywhere has opportunity, every trade they want to take. But experienced traders look at the one is like, oh, waste of my time. No, don't want to invest. I frame in a way that every trade signal you spot, you must be willing to invest in the trade signal. But first, you must make sure that that is a high quality trade signal. Then you invest. We don't put our money in those trade signals that is, in my mentee's words, waste of my time. So I just find it very interesting, and I want to add on to what Julian has shared.
Oh, it is really interesting. Okay, it's just fine for good quality setup, and the rest is just waste of your time. And sometimes what I like Iris mentioned is that sometimes you go up, you might think it's good, but actually there's nothing there. Now, just now Iris mentioned about you just met up with your students, right? Now I understand that you all have your own community. Like Julian, you have your community. Iris, you also have your own community. So I'm just curious, like, could you share like the type of people you all usually see joining? Are they just starting out, or are they already seasoned traders? Like, maybe I ask Julian this question first.
I think when it comes to forex, a lot of them are new beginners. Maybe they come from having experience with investing in stocks. Then now they want to try a forex, or they want some. I would say, they want to dip their toes. So then a lot of them are new. So that's why it's also very important to set the foundation right for beginners, because you don't want to let them go through all these wrong methods of learning. So then you inculcate bad habits with them. Yeah.
Awesome. What about you, Iris? Like, what type of people you see joining in your community? Like newbies or seasoned traders?
You mean those people who learn tradings from me, my students? Actually, there are I would say two main groups. First one is those who are really zero knowledge into trading, but they kind of want to find a way out from where they are, right? Find an exit for their job. So they're planning the exit, and then they see, trading is something really like everybody can learn, can master. So really like newbie, 100% zero, like newbie that's for trading. So that's the first type. Second type, which forms a main group, is those who have already tried out. They know how, they know how difficult it is to try it without a system. And they know that they still believe trading can work. And then because they tried, so when they see what I taught, when they hear, they know it makes sense. And then that is where they will give themselves a second chance to do it again, to learn it properly. So usually these are the two main groups. One is the 100% newbie. The other one is those who have tried and then know that actually it's very important to have a proper system.
Awesome. So okay, so Rajan was asking this question, right? Like, because, you mentioned about stock trading that there is so many different instruments, like even for stocks itself. So he's asking, like, the trades that both of you carry out, is it like using cash or futures or options?
Can I go first? Or
Yeah,
Julian?
sure.
Okay. For me, most of my trades are using cash. Yeah. The reason is because my portfolio is big. And if I don't use the cash, then I will keep thinking about the opportunity cost. So I will use cash. But there are times I will use options to kind of magnify the returns. Yeah. So most of the time is cash directly buy into the stocks. Then there are times I will use options. But I have a couple of mentees, because they have a smaller account and they want to kind of have a bigger results, higher returns, but at the same time control the risk. And they have a good knowledge in options. So it's like they apply what they learn from me for the chart reading, and then they use options, which is another vehicle. So you can take stocks as like riding the bus, taking the bus, then the options as like driving the Ferrari. So it's the same route, but they drive the Ferrari, then they can achieve their higher return faster. So they do that as well.
Awesome. What about you, Julian?
In forex only got cash, no options one.
Yes. Okay, so for those of you who are learning this for the first time, yes, for forex it's just only cash. Okay, so now this question, that I want to ask both of you is that you all help so many students grow as traders. Can you share like maybe one student success story that really stuck with you, like the kind of moment that reminds you like of why you do what you do? Maybe Julian can answer this.
Okay, so I had one student. He actually has been learning forex for 2 years already. But the thing is that even though he has learned forex, but then he never take any. In his words, he said that he never take any action. So basically, in my mind, is he wasted 2 years of his, 2 years of his life, learning it, but he never do anything now. Right? But to be honest, why do you think he never take action? Most likely he did, but then he lose money, right? And then he lose confidence. So after he actually joined and started learning from me, actually I help him to fix a few things. It's not about the strategy. Again, strategy everywhere also you can find strategy, but a lot of times, what students need that can actually help them to break through is actually a change of their mindset, right? And I actually help him work through with his mindset. And really to understand, right, what is the issue that he was facing. Number one, I realized that he didn't actually track his trades. So actually, I realized that whatever he enter, he also don't know what he win or lose. So then there's a reason why he started he didn't have confidence, because every time he thought that he lose the trade, right, then right after that he will change the strategy. So I say, hey, you never go and track, you also don't know what you're doing, whether you are, what is the reason you enter, you just anyhow enter, then of course you're not going to be able to succeed, right? So I got him to start tracking his trades, and then I also started to build in him the confidence to actually just take trades, because a lot of people again scared to lose money, so that's why they're scared to enter a trade. But just like what Iris mentioned, losing money is part of the process. You cannot expect to just keep on winning all the time, right? So you also need to also go through some losses, but those losses need to be controlled, need to be managed. So that's what I got him to do. I say that instead of being scared to take the trade, just go and do, right? And then what happened was that instant shift. The next day after I spoke to him, right, he started like winning a lot of the trades, right? And then right now he's actually a funded trader as well, prop firm trader as well, trading, I believe, 100K account or something like that, right? So a lot of times, it's not about just the strategy that you talk about with the students, but also you need to imbue with them the confidence, and you need to change some of the trading psychology, the mindset that you have when it comes to taking trades, and that is what I feel that some of my students need help with.
Okay, thank you so much. So what I'm hearing is it's all about trading consistently, and then the losing trades, okay, or the stop loss trades are actually part of the winning, and it's important to track and trade the strategy consistently, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Awesome. What about you, Iris? Like, yeah, what's one success story that you have from your student, that reminds you of why you do what you do?
I recently had like I said, I had a meetup with a couple of my mentees, about 20 plus of them, and not really reminded me of why I do what I do, but actually it reminded me of where I was, and it reminded me of my journey. Because for me, I am just an ordinary person. My parents also like not super rich, so I have to really fight hard for myself, and also try to protect, provide better for my parents. And that's why when I started the journey, I just as everybody, I study hard, I have scholarship, I graduate with first class honors, I work as employee, and I work very hard, I promote very, very fast. But then along the way, I lost my time, I lost my health, and I was wondering, like, what am I doing with my life, right? So that's where, kind of the push factor that put me into where I am today as a trader, so that I can have my freedom of my time. Then during the recent gathering with my students, so I was trying to break the ice, because it's the first time that we meet each other offline. That we meet each other regularly online, but it's the first time we meet each other offline. So I was trying to do some ice-breaking, conversation. So everybody must share about a few things about ourselves, like your name, of course. Then what is your occupation? So these are the two of out of the 4 questions that I get them to share. So I will start myself. I say, hey, my name is Iris, and my occupation, I'm jobless. Then they all laugh. Then I say, hey, I hope that one day you can be as jobless as I am. Then after that, one by one, everybody starts to share. And then there are a few sharing that really touched me, because like a couple of my mentees, like for example, one of them, a lady, I think she's even younger than me. Then she say that I'm a full-time trader. She said, when she said about her occupation, she said, I'm a full-time trader. She said, I used to hope that I can be profit consistently, and I'm very glad I've been doing so right now. And she tendered her job in June. Wow. So now she's literally a full-time trader. When I hear that, I feel so touched. It's like not to the point I want to cry, but it's like suddenly I see myself in her, the younger version of Iris. And then there was another one, also a lady. Then she say, oh, I am already a full-time trader. I'm also jobless like Iris. And then I have a passion of growing vegetables. So she grew vegetables in her house and said, hey, if you want vegetables, you come to my house, I give you. Then of course, a couple of other guys who are also like jobless in a way that I am. And then when I hear that, I feel super proud. Then I kind of see, there's really a meaning in what, me and Julian, we are doing. Because it's not something that, only me and Julian we can do. It's something that everybody, if you do it the proper way, you can do it as well. But of course, you have to be patient with yourself. You have to also put in the effort to, to master the skills. Then eventually, I hope everybody can be jobless in a way that you volunteer to be jobless. So that is something that came to my mind when you asked this question. Yeah.
Awesome. So guys, if you want to be like Iris and Julian, to be full-time trader and aspire to be jobless, you can type JL for jobless in the chat. Okay, and then we hope to really learn more from them. So today, Iris and Julian has shared very powerful perspective. And of course, there's only so much we can cover in 1 hour. But there's an opportunity where you guys can actually get to hear more from them in the upcoming Next Level conference, which I mentioned, which will be happening on Saturday, 30th of August, starting from 9 a.m. Right, so can we just put up the link there? So that can we just put up the link, so at least the students, if they want to hear more from Julian and Iris and learn more about their strategies, that is where they can. Oh, by the way, it's a free event, right? So we just want to click on the link right here. If you guys can click on the link, okay, and make sure that you get yourself registered. If you're using your mobile phone, you can also scan here as well, and then make sure to just register for the event happening on Saturday. So maybe we just give a glimpse to the audience because like I said, today you shared a lot. Maybe can you all just touch a little bit on what will you all be covering in the Next Level conference, Julian?
For me is, remember just now I was talking about if you want to actually trade using other people's money, right, and make even a consistent $1,000 a day, how can you do that, right? So this is what I will be touching a little bit more during the NLC.
Awesome. Right. So if you guys want to trade with other people's money by protecting your capital and trade with with a lot bigger portfolio, then this is something that you guys want to learn from Julian. Right. So you can profit with other people's money. What about you, Iris?
So usually when I give sharing is more focusing on the day trades, like how I spend less than 1 hour a day and then I can easily have a over 6-figure income. So for this upcoming NLC, I want to also do something slightly different, and I want to share with the audience something I've never shared before in the NLC, which is a strategy that the NLT trades, where you don't even need 1 hour a day, lesser, like maybe about 1 hour a month, and you can have even higher profit. Yeah, so day trading, to summarize, is something that for those of you who have a smaller account, let's say less than 50,000, but I said that once you have the capital, let's say more than 50,000, if you agree with me that time is more important, then you will really value NLT trades a lot.
Awesome. So guys, if you guys really want to make more money by working lesser, then definitely you guys have to come for the next NLC to learn more from Iris. All right, so thank you very much, Julian and Iris, and we hope to see you at the next level conference. So before we go, all right, can everyone, who are in today's session, can you all type like what is that one key learning point that strikes most to you? Can we just share in the chat? So we have like 100 of us today in this next level live. If all of us share one key learning point, right, we can benefit from everybody's learning, because everyone's, I believe, we interpret the story differently, right? So yeah, can I have everyone just type like what's the one thing that you got out of today's session in terms of like maybe your perspective? How does it change your perspective to trading? Yeah, just share. And then maybe, for Julian and Iris, maybe can you just share like maybe one word of encouragement for people who maybe they might have never traded before, or maybe they might have lose money before and then they are losing confidence and don't know whether they should get back into it. So what would you say? Maybe Iris can go first, like one word of encouragement.
One word of encouragement. If you
One
ever experience one word, I don't have that kind of skill, but can I say a sentence? Okay.
Yeah, of course.
One word cannot do it. Okay. I mean, because you mentioned about like those of them who have lost trades before, right? So if you ever lost money in the stock market, I just want to let you know that I did that to myself as well. And in fact, even as a successful trader as I am today, I still have a lot of losing trades. But the thing is, I lose trades to make money. And I want to let you know that it's never about avoiding losing trades. It's about you learn how to fall and still stand on your feet. And to do that, come to the NLC, then I'll share with you how to do that. Yeah.
Awesome. By the way, can I just add on something that I had the first time I actually met Iris was way back in 2022 December, right? You remember Iris, right? And I still remembered when I actually saw Iris, because the time, I actually get to see, because Iris and Julian, they do track their trades. So every trade, whether is it winning or losing, they track. And what really surprised me from Iris is that she got more losing trades than winning trades. But at the end of the week, it's still profitable, So I was like, wow, how can you like lose trades more than you win, but you still make money? So to me, this is really mind-blowing. And I think it really changes a perspective to how someone can actually view losing trades. And when similarly, I still remembered also, like even for Julian also, right, when I was in Sabah trip, I still remember, where we had a trip in Sabah, same thing. I also saw something that Julian could also make money, despite having losing trades. Just give like a word of encouragement to people who, maybe they lose trades in forex, but maybe just encourage them.
Yeah. Okay. So I would say that my advice would be don't chase the trade lah. I think what's more important is you want to look for or chase knowledge better. The market is going to be there, but your capital will not be there if you just always try to rush in and trade without having a plan, right? So my advice to you is to learn a strategy, go and test it first, back test it until you master it, and don't keep on switching the strategy every time you see something new online. You want to try this thing and try that thing, right? Stick to one, try to master it first, and then back test it, and then only implement it really lah. So I think this is something that when I was starting out as well, this was what I want. I was trying to go on YouTube, trying to search for different indicators that I can use, that indicator, this indicator, and then find that actually like there's no need for that one lah. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you very much, Julian. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, okay, I hope you guys learned a lot. And let me just read out some of the comments from our audience today. So, Sherlyn says it's exciting. Okay, she's going to stay home on the 30th August. Meredith, learning point is it's all about the consistency. Okay, and yeah, Sherlyn also says don't need a lot of time as long as just focus on mastering the skills. Donald says, learn how to trade properly first before putting money in the market to pay school fees. So it's either you learn or you pay school fees. Okay, interesting. Why Alien says follow the plan. Okay, Patrick says be positive and willing to learn and to improve the right way. Dollar Cent says learn how to trade with a good income to avoid losing jobs. Wait, this is interesting. Learn how to trade with a good income to avoid losing job. Or you want to trade well, then you can lose your job. Okay, wait. So this one, different approach. Okay. Kelly says, never give up and enjoy the learning. Okay, awesome, awesome. These are all very good learning points. Okay, so with that, can we give Julian and Iris a big round of applause, for sharing with us today? How do we do the next level way to give a round of applause online? We type clap, 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 CCC in the chat. Okay, so if you enjoyed today's session, please type CCC for clap, 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 okay, to give a round of applause to Iris and Julian to show our appreciation. Right? Okay, guys, so we'll see you on Saturday, 30th August. Make sure that you guys scan the QR code, okay, and make sure you register for the event. All right, see you everybody and goodbye.